call somebody dickhead.
um, so,
Wow. Jesus, Greg.
welcome, Spiderduck. This is the Spiderduck Showcase. I will be playing Hotline Miami today. My name is Greg, and with me is my co-host, as ever. Please introduce yourself.
Tom Cruise.
Thank you, Eric, for introducing yourself with the wrong name. So this has, I'm currently on Chapter 13, but I'm really bad at this game, so let's start the showcase with the prelude. So the goal of Hotline Miami is to run through these structures and kill everybody, and one interesting thing you'll notice right off the bat is that I've collected a ton of masks. And they don't seem particularly well balanced. Like, some of them walk fast is not all that useful, but then Don Juan has lethal doors, which is like cheating, essentially. So it feels like they went more for interesting effects rather than balancing the game for a certain amount of challenge.
I think that's one of the best ways to do it, because there's so many different ways that you can play the game, and you can make it go to the style that you want it to be played as.
God damn it. Like, my controller works now. All right.
Well, I'm glad that it's working now.
And now I'm not. Why is it so fickle?
I don't know. I don't know how you have problems using the mouse and keyboard controls for it.
It's
just so much better.
I need to go back from like stage 1 and try the mouse and keyboard. But
yes, you do, because it's so much better.
But because the controller is what I'm used to, we'll be using that here. And I like doing this.
Oh God, yes, that's probably the best reason to do it ever.
You get points for that.
Now, I don't know if I'm crazy, but do you ever play this game and you pretend that you're playing as Danny Tanner and you're going around your house and you're trying to get Michelle and DJ to shut up?
Is this Full House?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's even a chapter, I think it's like chapter 5, it's called Full House.
I'm sure that's what they were going for.
See, here's the beauty of this game, is it talks about how sick of a person you are for playing it. You left 2 guys with their skulls cracked open, crawling around on the floor over there. Just, taking the slow death approach.
Well, I don't know. It is neat how you can finish those guys off for extra points.
And points are kind of the important thing in this game, which is even cooler. Like, the way that you do it, the game revolves around the style that you want to play it in. Like, you can choose the mask that you want to play and everything, or use to play, and I use the Rasmus mask a lot, because the owl's just, like, creepy. If you think about somebody breaking into the place where you're at, and they're wearing an owl mask, that's pretty fucked up.
So you just like the idea of an owl breaking into people's houses?
Well, kind of.
Oh,
and also, Batman's Court of Owls kind of had that kind of a feel to me. So now we're looking at what kind of a sick person you truly are. All these people that you killed, and you're having to walk back over every one of them that you ended up killing.
It's neat that, like, all of the blood and particle effects are persistent. So it's kind of like I made a painting on the floor, and I can now observe it without any enemies around to distract me.
I feel like that's the message of this game, is like showing you what a sick bastard you as the player are when you have this character that is getting these phone calls with weird cryptic messages and telling you what you need to go do, and pretending, oh, well, you're going to be a babysitter and you need to come here and discipline these children.
That's one thing. So, according to you, those lines are sort of arbitrary and just, like, whatever excuses to get you to your mission, right?
Yeah, definitely. Your mission is always go to this house and kill all of the people in it.
Now,
that's always your mission.
If you are right, and those are totally arbitrary, then there are 2 explanations for... So we're about to get one of those phone calls right now, actually. So,
Yes.
there are 2 possible interpretations of this.
Here's the babysitter line.
So either A, they're trying to trick you into thinking that text is important, and it's a purposeful red herring, or it's just extra text thrown in there and you should really just ignore it, in which case that's kind of bad writing.
I don't feel like the writing's too bad. I feel like
it's bad writing when you have unnecessary information.
I like that aspect of the game because it's one of those things where it allows you to partially make up your own story, and if you go on the internet and you look up all these different theories about Hotline Miami, it's really hard to figure out what's going on because there's so many different ways of thinking with this game.
So you would ascribe to the red herring theory?
In a lot of ways, I definitely would. I feel like you are Jacket. Jacket's what everybody calls the character because he's known for the varsity jacket that he wears. As your antagonist, I guess, would be Biker, who is known for wearing his biker helmet.
So one thing before we move on that I wanted to mention is that so throughout this entire stage, you see the rooms are pretty small. This can fit on my screen all at once. So I can see all of the guys who are going to be in this room. And because there's a door here that starts off closed, I don't have to worry about any guys outside of my field of vision being able to see me. And as you play the game, the way the game progresses is that guys get farther and farther out of your field of vision, and then there's a thing added to the gameplay, glass, where guys can shoot through glass to get to you, further giving them access to your position beyond yours because you can't reach them through the glass. So I guess the takeaway point is that the way the game progresses is by putting more and more of the content out of your field of vision.
The houses end up getting bigger because you're killing Russian mafia. And I think that as you're going on, you're going to hire up officers in the mafia, and you're taking them down in their houses, and they're much larger bases in that way. As you'll end up getting to hotels and all this other kind of stuff at the same time. So they end up getting larger and more elaborate, even though you still always have the same kind of concept. Right there's some glass, and the guy in the room taking a shit right now, well, he's not taking a shit. I always think that he's taking a shit for some reason.
Just
there's
people sitting down, you assume.
Well, he could have seen you, and if he sees you right now, he can just shoot you, or he could have shot you through the glass. As the same thing could happen with you shooting him through the glass if you're using a weapon like a shotgun or a machine gun.
The problem being that if you shoot, guys can hear you. So it's pretty risky, and you need to make sure you have all your ducks in a row if you're going to shoot someone.
Guns should always be your last resort, though. Guns are when you know that you fucked up, or you're pretty ballsy. In your case, I feel like it's because you're pretty ballsy.
Yeah, I mean, we're still pretty early in the game, and it's pretty easy at this point. It's not until part 2 that things get pretty intense.
Well, this game's always intense. I mean, you did just kick that dude's skull in.
Well, the visuals are intense, but the gameplay not so much. Oh, fuck, there's a guy there.
Yes, there's definitely a guy there. What you want to do, you want to bash the guy with the door, hurry up, run, kill the other guy, and then pound this dude's head into the floor.
Yeah, having to combo stuff like that is a pretty important tactic because along with more being outside of your field of vision, there will be more guys stacked on top of each other. You rarely get rooms like this where it's just one guy patrolling around.
And when you do, you feel kind of safe for a second, but then you realize there's always more rooms, and in those rooms there's a much more elaborate setup. So you're taking a much more tactical approach on a lot of these things and hoping that he comes to the door just so you can bash in his skull immediately.
I really wish that, well, it would make the game easier for me if they followed where they got hit from.
Yeah, that would make things a lot easier, and that's... I I don't understand how this happens with you. This seems to happen a lot with the way that you play the game. You somehow break the AI.
It's also an important tactic of throwing stuff is that you can swap out their weapons if you do it just right. Like that guy replaced his gun with a bat because the bat was closer to him when he fell. So yeah, weapon choice plays a big part.
See, I'm very much into the melee, and I like how fast the knife is and how quick you can take somebody down by slitting their throats, which I guess...
Well, any melee weapon is going to take them out in one hit, right?
Yes, I believe that every single melee weapon does take them down in one hit, but at the same time, it's one of those things with, like, the speed in which you're doing it, because for the higher score, and they make it well known, because it's always right there on the screen for you, hey, there's a score system, and they want you to know it's a video game, whether it's extremely sick or not. It's a video game.
Oh, fuck.
The gore in this game is extremely nasty, even though it's all pixelated and you're at an above view. It's a disgusting game, and it's meant to feel really dirty and disgusting, and they totally captured it.
It's, the idea of a guy's head being crushed is pretty gross, yeah.
And they want you to know that it's nasty. They don't want you to sit here and be like, oh man, this is just fun going around killing people. They want you to know that it's really fucking gross. And I think that that's one of the things that they've definitely done best in this game, besides the amazing soundtrack. There's a lot that I love about this game, and some things I don't really care for about it. And the main thing that I don't really care for is the controls when it comes to using an actual gamepad.
I find the lock-on really helpful, and it points out where guys are, and that's sort of a way to get around how you can't see people off screen. Oh, damn it.
Oh no. Oh my god, I don't know how that happened. So this right here is what I'm talking about. You're having to go back through this area where you destroyed everybody. While you're in that moment of killing everybody because you're going through the video gamey aspect, you're having to sit there and walk back through it at the end and see the kind of carnage that you ended up causing. While other games are like, oh, well, here you can destroy this whole building and there's never anybody else inside of it. You don't have to worry about those bodies, or the bodies completely go away. And it leaves you not having to worry about the kind of nastiness that you caused. This game just throws it right in your face.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
I was going to say, while your character's getting these calls to go out and kill, you're choosing to keep on playing this game. And you're taking him through being a murderer more.
One thing I think that detracts from the visceral satisfaction or horror of the game, Ninja Star, is that the enemies don't care about other enemies that die. So they'll just walk it through pools of blood and stuff like that. And I think in a certain sense it still feels very fake and like something I would play on NES.
I used to not like that. And then as I gained my own theory about what a lot of this game is, and that seems to be a big part of what makes Hotline Miami so special, is coming up with your own theory of what's going on. My theory is they want you to know this is a video game, and they want you to know how gross it is to play these violent video games, but they still show you the big score on the screen to say, hey, you know what? Other people do this all the time, but they don't show you how really gross it is. So you stop and you think about the other games you played in which you're going around killing people.
So you would say that that disjoint between their behavior and the graphics is intentional.
Yes, I definitely think that it is. I think that a lot of the ways that they want you to play this game and that you're supposed to play this game is in the way that you perceive it, but they want you to play it. What?
Sorry, I shot the doorway instead of the guy.
That's what you should always do. That's what I would do in real life. They want you to perceive it as, there is this story, but you're making your own story in a lot of ways. Even though Hotline Miami 2 is going to carry on with the same kind of story, and the shit that Jacket goes through and not the shit that Biker goes through is what's actually canonical.
2 comments. Off topic, I just wanted to mention that an important metagaming, well, not metagame, an important tactic is to remember when you go to the next stage, you will always spawn with the weapon that you have in your hand and how many bullets you have. So I try to, generally I pick a melee weapon, but because I have the stealth gun mask, I will go with the, whatever type of gun this is called. But it's, very important to pick something that will put you off on the right foot on the next floor.
I'm watching you use this lock-on feature that for some reason I never knew existed.
Well, you wouldn't really use it with a mouse and keyboard.
Oh, definitely not. There's a lot of precision to be had with it. If you want to find another way to break the game, while you're holding a person down and getting ready to kill them and other people have weapons, they'll just unload all of their ammo in that gun, and they won't be able to shoot you.
Wait, while you're holding someone down to, finish them off, you can't get hit?
Exactly.
I feel like I get killed that way a lot.
I've never gotten killed that way. Maybe this is one of those circumstances that's only worked for me, but yeah, I've had it happen
Maybe it's
times.
That I actually go ahead and finish the guy off, and then I get hit. I could see it being that.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being that also, because I've never had that kind of problem.
Wow, this stage is a million times easier with the stealth gun.
Oh, I bet it is.
Oh, I thought I
bet
killed him.
A lot of them would be a lot easier with having the stealth gun thing. I've been having a lot more fun using the Jones mask, because there's something really goofy about wearing this big crocodile mask when you go in and take everybody down.
It seems like you're very aesthetically enchanted with this game.
I love everything about this game. It's a couple of years old at this point in time now, and it's still a game that I really love. It's been one of those games where, I've been like, oh man, that'd be really cool to own one of the masks from this game, and the music's fantastic. It's something that I've had on rotation on my iPod since I've had an iPod.
It's not my favorite kind of music, so I can't really say, I can't give any commentary on how good or bad it is. It's just not music I generally listen to.
I love how perfect the music fits with the game, though. It's got that 80s vibe.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then at the time that the game was made, it also has that kind of vibe to it at the same time. So you're coming up on one of my...
How much ammo do I have? Get out of the... Stop saying go to car.
You have go to car out of go to car.
Oh, okay. These segments are very frustrating. Oh, shit. Yeah.
You had 2 bullets. That was your... Or 2 slugs. So with him, you have to take him down once and then shoot him again. And then you grab another shotgun. There you go. So this is the interesting thing about this game that I can't exactly gather the meaning of. He's going through to kill everybody, but he decides... I do that same thing with her all the time, where I spin around with her. Instead of going through and killing everybody, he decides to give this woman another chance and takes her back home with him.
That's how you read the situation?
Oh, it's definitely what it is. He goes through and he kills everybody, but he picks up this woman that he doesn't know and takes her away and takes him back home with himself. Or takes her back home with himself.
He doesn't kill the only person that tries not to kill him.
It seems like it in a lot of ways. Who's to say that the other people were going to kill him?
Because they do.
I mean, I think that he would have...
Also, sorry, just wanted to interrupt you. It always cracks me up how he gets stuck in the door in this cutscene.
That's never happened to me like that. It's so weird. all these things happen for you, and it never happens to me.
Luckily, we have it on video.
But the thing with her is, like...
Hey, girl.
I think that the deal with her is, like, she's all strung out, and she's, like, crying, and I think she's expecting him to kill her. And maybe he all of a sudden has this sense of, I don't have to kill everybody, I can take her with me. And I feel like, in a lot of ways, it's something that makes the situation worse somehow. I don't know. It's a very weird thing to me, where he decides to save her.
So you would say it marks a change of heart for him.
I'd like to say that, but at the same time, he's still going through and murdering everybody.
Where's that dog? So this is the stage where I typically get stuck and my gameplay becomes unwatchable.
Then that's definitely a good thing.
In what sense?
Because that's more fun for me. Yeah! The dog just tackles your ass. Oh, I love it when that happens.
I feel like this stage in particular, there's a huge network of rooms going on and guys randomly walk through doors. And so guys will just pop up in the hallway that I thought were trapped in rooms.
Yeah, there's I think that this is the stage that really introduces a lot of the gameplay changes that are going to be coming up. Like, while you're used to a lot of the enemies having a certain pathway, some of them will actually go into different rooms, and there's glass all over this room to really show you.
Yeah, you really need to, like, my first run through this stage, I kept trying to go in here and finish off the guys, and then these guys would notice me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you really need to make, to observe enemies' line of vision, I guess is what I would say.
And I also like how there's no vision cones, speaking of lines of vision. There's too many games that have vision codes. Like, somehow, you know exact line of sight for the enemies.
Well, it's a Soliton radar.
I love a ton of salad and radars, and salad's good. I don't know, like, I'm very excited about Hotline Miami 2. They've really made it a lot easier and a lot more fast-paced, and that kind of makes me sad, but it looks like they're going to be expanding on narrative storytelling with this game.
Well,
so I'm kind of excited about that, because the world does fascinate me.
The stages in this game, well, I mean, I say this on my first playthrough, but so far, the stages feel samey enough that I feel like another game of similar gameplay, god damn it, would be too much. That, like, this game, I appreciate how subtle this game is, but also probably don't need more of it.
The second one is quite the same in what you're doing. I just feel like there's a lot more story to be told, and a different way of telling that story, and it excites me because the theories and what people have come up with are pretty awesome. So I'm very interested in seeing what the developers are saying, like, hey, no, this is what the story really is. That excites me, because now, like, those theories are going to not have to be so crazy and so widespread as to what exactly is really going on, and we're going to get the real answers. I think it's great that they made us wait for those answers.
So to paraphrase Joseph Conrad, I prefer stories where the meaning is not like a nut that you crack, like some riddle. Okay, I was worried those guys were going to get stuck.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what just happened?
I prefer a story where the meaning is just, like, sort of present throughout the whole experience, and it's not like you have to pick something apart. It's more just the overall feeling of the piece. And so something like Hotline Miami, where it's like you gotta figure out what the meaning is, that's a real turnoff for me. I appreciate that guys like David Lynch are popular for a reason, but it's certainly not my kind of thing. Also, fuck this room.
I love that part.
Oh, fuck.
What? Is that what we do now? That's like... You just had AI behavior from like a Call of Duty where the enemy just stands there and looks at you. It's like, hey, are you going to shoot me? I'm random Afghanistan warrior dude number 63, and I just want you to kill me.
I feel like, yeah, I forgot that I needed to kill him like this.
It's a good way of doing things, really.
And then...
I don't think it matters if you use a gun or not. I love this.
Yeah, this...
I love that explosion. I can't help it.
That is so creepy how that knocks out the music.
I love the sound design in this game. I love everything about this game.
Did I kill him?
I think so. You can use one of your buttons, I can't remember which one, to look away further. I think it's LB or something.
L... Oh, friggin'! This would have helped so much.
Yes, it would have. I thought you knew about it and you just didn't use it.
Here, let me...
It's changed your whole life. Look at that. Look how much of a sick motherfucker you are. Look at all those bodies. Like, all those people that had families and you slayed every one of them.
They're just video game characters.
Are they?
It wasn't so much the satisfaction of killing people that got me. It was more, you know, the puzzle of figuring out a network of intelligent behaviors.
Puzzle. You used the word puzzle.
Yeah, it's, so, one thing that gets me about, like, so you say that Hotline Miami, the secret to it is that it's a puzzle game, right?
It is a puzzle game. Everything about it's a puzzle game.
But that makes me wonder, like, what is the definition of a puzzle game that Hotline Miami can be one? Because certainly it still relies on reflexes, and certainly there is not one solution, as you might expect.
Full House.
Oh, there we are. My favorite Full House character was... Are there dogs in this chapter?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yes, there is one.
Well, we'll go with Ted. But that's like... Oops.
Piss them off pretty quick. Make sure you grab the crowbar at the end. See that crowbar right there?
Yeah.
Wait.
Where
Grab that
are
at
the
the
guys?
end. I'm going to show you how to get Jones. The Jones mask.
So not now?
I mean, you can now, but use it through the whole level.
Okay, I'm probably going to lose it if I pick it up.
If you use it, you lose it, or something.
So all games have problem solving to a certain extent. And that just, like... So for Hotline Miami to have problem solving doesn't mean it's a puzzle game, because that just means it's a video game.
I feel like every room is broken down into a puzzle section, though, where you have to figure out how you're going to go in and attack that room.
Well, that's like, for example, that's how a cover shooter works. Like Gears of War, you have to decide which piece of cover to take and how to kill the enemies in the room from that piece of cover.
I guess, but this game is, while that's something that has, like, a lot of AI work put into it, this is a game that's like, okay, well, you have these enemies that circle the room, you can take them out with the doors, and the other parts are, with, like, cover-based shooters, are, okay, I've got this piece of cover, and I'm going to shoot everything, and then duck and cover and all that kind of shit.
So, because it's mechanically more simple than... Damn it. Because it's mechanically more simple than Gears of War, you would say it's more puzzle-oriented?
Enemies in this game have two behavior patterns when it comes to not being provoked. So there's circle the room, or I guess there's three. One's stand there and wait. One, circle the room, and one is that you have other characters that will leave the room and go to different areas, and they don't have an exact pathway that they take. That guy just opened... Are they opening the door on themselves, or what?
It's that the door bumps into me and I open it.
Oh, okay. Got you. So you do have a way of... Okay, I've got this room, and this guy can go into this room, so I have to take these guys out in a certain pattern. And there's always... It's like Vulgar in a lot of ways, that there's always a pattern to do things. Right,
but there's not... See, that's the thing that gets me. It's not... There are a multitude of patterns. Like, I have... Let me count them. 1, 2, 3... maybe 4 different rooms open to me, and I could tackle them in any order, and it would be just as good. It's just that it depends on my personal preference regarding weapons and enemy placement. So there are several million ways to approach any given situation. It's not like Vulgar, I would say.
Well, it's not as much like Vulgar, where it's like, oh yes, there's a pattern to every single thing, and they always come at you the same way. I feel like this has a pattern that the enemies always take, and the way that you decide to attack those patterns and to make them bend to your way is kind of like a puzzle game in a lot of ways. It's just you have a way of bending the rules that puzzle works in.
So, it feels like, by that logic, like Pac-Man is a puzzle game.
Pac-Man is a puzzle game. That's definitely a puzzle game.
I like that. Aw, he got up.
I liked how you actually didn't kill the dog. Like, all of a sudden, since you have the thing that makes it so dogs don't attack, you didn't kill the dog. I've never used that mask, actually.
Dogs are extremely annoying because of how they run at you, and that, like... You can take care of dogs easily enough if you hide around the corner where they can't see you, but if they're dashing at you, it requires some pretty strict reflexes to take care of them.
Well, spoiler alert for you. Later on in the game, you'll have to take down a couple of cheetahs that are running at you.
I really like pool cues because of how long they are, but then they break.
They end up breaking.
Totally forgot about that guy.
You'll make it through this, and then you're totally not going to walk into the car at the end of this level. You're going to pick up the crowbar, and then you're going to go to this other area, where you get a little bit more narrative, even though it doesn't really explain what's going on. But I have a theory on that a little bit, so...
I don't know, we might not... Considering my current performance, we might not make it to that point.
It's going to happen. It's got to happen. It doesn't have to happen. You have somewhere to be, I thought. Yeah,
I was thinking where might be a good place to end this video.
This might be a good place to end it.
Was there anything left over you wanted to bring up?
I'm excited about Hotline Miami 2. I was very excited about getting you to check out Hotline Miami because I really wanted your take on it. Because you have a very different take than a lot of people have on video games. So I always love running things by you.
It's certainly a game that I respect, and I appreciate how, we have a culture where each gameplay moment needs to be unique and be this shiny new set piece. And Hotline Miami is very conservative about what it does. It's certainly neat to replay and appreciate how everything comes together. And it's not immediately obvious how that is the case. And I don't mean narratively, because narratively I don't really care about this game.
When Hotline Miami 2 comes out, you and I are going to visit that. Plain and simple. It has to happen.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining me, Eric. I think this was insightful.